Hello everyone, my name is Rémi Pouchucq and I am the Business Development Manager for this region. We're going to look at a few industries where here in the Middle East and Africa, we see some very interesting use cases that are the true drivers behind the rise of edge computing. I will first start by the retail sector. In a nutshell, over the past 5 years, the retail sector has been hit by a wave of disruption. This disruption is mainly coming from pure players, online players of the likes of Amazon, Noon, and other platforms. And they are basically pushing traditional brick and mortar retailers to rethink their overall customer experience in order to precisely fight back and provide a richer, more unique, seamless customer experience. So what we've seen over the past few years is traditional retailers venturing into the online space and being able to provide both an online and of course offline customer experience. Now if we look at the store customer experience, we've seen a few very interesting use cases whereby new technology is being deployed in order to provide a richer experience. And we've got a few examples, but that ranges from self-service kiosk, RFID self-checkout kiosk. So you have items whereby instead of having a barcode, you have an RFID tag, and so you can seamlessly check out basically exiting the store through some gates equipped with RFID sensors, and then payment occurs seamlessly. We also see cases of smart mirrors or even hazard detection video application. And so what all of those use cases have in common is that they are basically prone to latency. When you use video, you may have some you may have to actually process over the networks huge amount of data, therefore issue around the bandwidth and the cost associated issues. And last but not least, your POS and your stores needs to be cloud autonomous, meaning that if you lose the network, your POS, your smart mirror kiosk, your self-checkout station needs to keep working. And so we see an increase of those projects in the region, both in the Middle East and in Africa, with some main players, whether it's around food and beverage, traditional retail stores, basically trying to ramp up their IT capabilities in order to support those new technologies. Looking into the banking sector, digitization has completely transformed the way individuals now interact with their bankers. So what we've seen is the traditional banking branches slowly evolving towards a more interactive place whereby you obviously will go and meet your banker, but where you may also have a coffee or even meet with other startups. Coming back to the technology angle, we are seeing interactive teller machines being deployed increasingly. Those interactive teller machines basically enable customers to have video live conference with their bankers that may be in other branches or at the central HQ. They're able to get their credit card created in a matter of a few minutes. And you also have some really nice features such as biometric authentication. And so once again, those new technology, whether it's this new sort of ATM, robot greeters, the use of tablets inside the branch, and also an increased reliance on networking. So all of those new ways to envision the banking branches do require from those banking institutions to upgrade their IT capabilities. And this is how we've been working with a leading banking institution in the Middle East to upgrade their banking branches with micro data centers that basically were required to support their increased needs in terms of office applications and unified communications. Education is a great example of how digitization can be leveraged in order to provide a more customized learning experience. Through the use of tablet-based teaching, virtual and augmented reality powered labs, but also high-speed campus-wide network connectivity has also become very important in order to enhance and support the delivery, the smooth delivery of those digital services. We are seeing many examples of similar projects being rolled out in the region, and we have actually just completed the deployment of a prefabricated data center with one of the leading educational institutions in West Africa to support the deployment of a supercomputer. In healthcare, digital data about the patient's health are increasingly being collected through wearables or smart beds, basically with sensors. These huge streams of data that are being generated at the hospital level do require some local processing before being sent to the dashboard in the cloud. Just like robotization is extremely latency sensitive, the nature of the data itself, because of their sensitivity, do also require to be careful about what can basically be shared on the cloud versus at the edge. And so this is why edge computing is of very big importance to the healthcare industry. In the industrial space, digitization, Internet of Things, and machine learning are used to improve core processes while decreasing costs. Automation, but also predictive maintenance are basically use cases that we see mushrooming in the Factory 4.0. And so we've worked on many projects in the region, for example, with the oil and gas industry around pump and pipeline management, but also manufacturing and mining. This brings us to the limitations of cloud computing. In the various examples that I've shared with you, latency, bandwidth, security, and cloud autonomy are four main limitations that actually foster the rise of local deployment, which we mean by this edge computing sites. And so by basically deploying small amount of compute, network, and storage as closely as possible from where the data is being consumed and generated, we are able to overcome those four limitations. In our past edge computing deployment, we've seen three main challenges. The first one is about physical security. The second, deployment. And the third, management. By physical security, we mean that by the very nature of edge computing, we are likely to deploy in non-IT environments, so space that were not conceived in the first place to host IT equipment. And so this is why it is of the utmost importance that the IT infrastructure is physically secured. In deployment, we're looking at increasing the speed of deployment. We're also looking at standardization because of the many sites that edge computing applications entails, but also because it helps to decrease maintenance costs. Last but not least, edge computing being mostly lights out site, remote management capabilities are very important in order to ensure business continuity. APC by Schneider Electric EcoStruxure micro data centers are the right answer to those three challenges that we see at the edge. Our micro data center portfolio caters to several environments, from an office and commercial space up to harsh and industrial environments. I invite you to take a virtual tour of our latest 6U microdata centers at the link that's shown here. This is the perfect solution to deploy your edge servers while saving space. We're coming to the end of this session, so thanks for joining me. I hope you found it informative. If you need more information about how APC by Schneider Electric can help you drive your digitization projects, please feel free to reach out. See you soon.